What's up, everybody? This is your Bachata Knight. I've had more than a few requests to go over this armor that I wear to fight in armored combat, or Buhurt, whichever you like to call it. As you can see here, this is my full kit that I wore during the Renaissance Fair for over 8 hours straight, including that helmet. As you can imagine, I got pretty sweaty, so I've been spending time polishing these parts up so I can put them back on the rack for next time we use them. So if you want to see me put this armor on, we'll do that in a separate video because it takes 2 people to get this on me. I can't do it by myself. Today we're just going to go over the parts in depth just so you get a look at what real armor for fighting and modern combat sports looks like. Why don't we get started with that, and we'll start putting these onto the armor stand. So here are your greaves. As you can see right here, I'm holding onto this piece of leather. It's riveted into the top. This is so you can point this or attach it to your padded garments underneath. This armor, all the armor except for the helmet, which I got through Ice Falcon Armory, but all this is spring steel, and I got made by Alexi Parabenius. Awesome work there in Ukraine. So how this attaches is this can be pointed or attached to your padded garments underneath with some leather. This holds the weight of your greaves off the top of your foot. This has some articulation here, so if you're moving and bending, this is not in a fixed position digging into the top of your foot, right? So that's a very nice thing about these. And they're shaped, so these are like legit. You can use these in competition. The ones that have been banned recently come straight down and have no shape. I wore all my padded garments. I got fitted, and I was surprised how well these actually fit to my leg with the measurements I forwarded to Alexi. So here's how they attach on the inside. You got these 2 straps here up top, go around the calf, and you got a couple down here that go around the ankle. Snug these up. 3-part greaves. These buckles here, you have a buckle that attaches that keeps your greaves closed on the top, and one that secures them down here by the ankle. My legs are fully articulated, so as you can see here, my demigreaves, the greaves go right under here, and my cuisses are attached with the knee here, and it's fully functional, articulated. One cool thing about these are actually like late 14th, 15th century legs, but you can see this here is another movable part, so you have some more flexibility. If you bend over and stuff, you can actually see that the armor will recede against this plate here, and it is attached by leather on the inside. When you get armor like this, it's pretty stiff. You'll see on the pauldrons, the shoulders later, how easily the leather moves, but when you first get armor, a lot of these leather pieces haven't been broken in. It feels really stiff. Now that I've been using this armor so many times, it's very flexible. Same thing with the greaves. To point this stuff, you got a couple leather straps here that connect to these leather flaps that are riveted to the top of the legs. So this holds it up. The weight of all my legs is held around my waist with the seatbelt. As you can see here, the fan that protects the back of your knee from getting hit by somebody from the side goes on the outside. So the seatbelt actually wraps around you this way. If I didn't say it yet, excuse the rust on these cuisses because I have not yet touched them up after the Renaissance Fair. But basically, you got straps that go on the inside. Just trying to get to them here. You have 4 straps. These 2 around the bottom of the knee. These are going to wrap around from the inside and connect to the buckles on the outside of these legs. And then you have this is for your upper thigh protection. So as you can see, the inner thigh right here is really the only exposed part on the back of my legs. And as you can see, they just buckle in. This would be a look from the outside of the legs, right? If you've seen any of my Facebook videos, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to this channel and check me out on Facebook. I'll put a link below because I do live workouts in armor. But there you go. These are my fully functional articulated legs. So let's put them on the stand and we'll get on to the next armor part. This is my gambeson, my padded arming coat, which goes underneath the armor because this is what you tie the armor parts to. So you will point them with these leather strips. You get some buttonholes put in here. As you can see, for your points of contact where steel plates will be rubbing on here, so if you think about shoulders, when you're moving your shoulders, those plates are going back and forth, and they will slice this up like a bunch of tiny little knives. So I've put some leather strips through these leather rectangles. And at my points of contact, those steel plates will actually rub onto this leather rectangle I put on instead of on here. As you can see, I have like no damage underneath, compared to where I've had to patch my gambeson a few times. For instance, like this leather strip right here, because it wore a hole in it where one of my plates were rubbing into it. And of course, padded undergarment takes a lot of oomph out of the hits that you take. So if you're getting hit with a sword or an axe or something, you'd be surprised. This makes it a little bit more comfortable. So we're going to tie all the armor parts onto this. These are my shoulders. My pauldrons, as you can see, they're also very flexible. And when you're moving around, when you get these, when you first get them, they're very stiff. And you almost have to like push on them to get to move. You wear it enough and they'll move around, very mobile. Okay? This is where all the leather is riveted inside to hold these plates together. As you can see, these are going to be your 2 buckles that go around your arm. These 3 holes in the top here are where you're going to put your leather straps to hold them on. And I double them up because if you can see, you have just 3 little holes here made of steel, and those things are just moving around. That way, if one of your leather strips break, you have a backup. So this is basically going to be my left shoulder, and here's why. Because see these buckles here, you want to be able to reach these. It's a lot harder if you have it over here and you're trying to find these buckles. Put your shoulders on so that these buckles are in the front. Then you can sort of swing it around once you got all your gambeson on and your other armor. It's very easy to grab them and put them through. You don't have to make these very tight. As long as they're fastened. I've not had a shoulder strap come off while I've been fighting or anything. I leave them a little loose. When you attach them, it's really easy. You just put these strips through here. Just to save time, I'm just going to do 2 of them. We'll do the 2 outsides. You'd basically put them in through here and snug it up to where it needs to be. Tie it on. I usually do 3 square knots. Basically, there you go. That is how they would attach. These are my bazubands, my Mongolian arm protection, and they're both the same, so we're just going to go over one. A couple of things I'd like to point out. Mongolians do not have the best armor compared to Europeans. So there's a few exceptions they make when you're using armor like this, where you can have a roundel attached. You can have like your van brace on European armor. You can have something in the back. I don't know how well it's documented that Mongolians had arm protection here, and they didn't really have anything here. So if you're getting hit by a sword or an axe or something on the inside of your elbow, you don't want fighters getting extremely hurt. So I believe that's why they made an exception for Mongolians to be able to have a roundel, as long as it's not oversized. As you can see here, this is probably just within the rule limits. So this is riveted on. You might find some designs where it's actually incorporated into the actual shape of the bazuband itself. This would be like a van brace for your European armor. Now here's something I'd like to point out. On the inside of these, I have these 2 strips of leather that hold it on, and I have a couple holes here so I can adjust them. One reason that's very important is because when you point these on your armor in the beginning, on your gambeson, everything's really tight. And as you fight in it, or you just play around in your armor and use it, you'll find that these will stretch out. The leather might stretch. The holes in your gambeson are going to hang a little lower. And then you'll find that the weight of this is all being not supported anymore by where you're tied on up here with these 2 leather strips into your gambeson. You'll find that it's actually now resting on the inside of your gauntlets like this. You'll have your gauntlet on, and you'll be sitting there, and you'll notice that when your arms are hanging, the weight is resting on the inside of your gauntlet, and that's bad because it binds your wrists. But anyway, these are your bazubands. As you can see, they're hinged. There's 2 hinges here, straps on the inside, up front, and down here these wrap around your forearm on the inside. You tighten them up, makes it nice and snug. Then these will actually tuck in here, and these straps will go on the outside to keep your arms encased in these while you're fighting. Now when it comes to the gauntlets, these are the best gauntlets money can buy. Best gauntlets in the world. And they're made here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the United States. These are Grettir Gauntlets. I have taken some serious shots to these. As you can see right there, see that dent they're fully functional. One thing that makes you stand out, see the thumbs, you got this little encased part here. It goes over the tip of your thumb. You can see here everything moves. So you got some movement there. Great. And you don't want you don't want the individual finger gauntlets, because those can really, at least from what I hear, lead to some broken fingers and injuries. These are our plate. You get hit here, distributes that force over that plate instead of into your fingers. So Grettir Gauntlets, best things money can buy. I recommend them for anybody. Same thing with all these armor parts. We're going to put the leather strips through these two holes here to point them onto our gambeson. I actually have 2 sets of leather strips that I use, but just to save time here, I'm just going to tie one. You want to just make sure these are very tight so that they stay exactly where you want. You tie these in here just like this. This goes underneath your pauldrons here. Make sure they're tight, exactly where you want them. Sometimes I might use a leg to hold them up to keep the weight off. So you can tie them very tight, some square knots will hold them in place. Now, as you can see, this is very, very solid protection here. You have a little bit of a gap back here, but that's about it. When we put our plates on the back, you'll see it covers up a lot of this. As far as the arms go, you're not getting any penetration on here. Very solid protection. One thing you're going to need is an athletic supporter or your cup to sort of help protect your private area. You're going to have an option to put some other padding underneath your armor too. I recommend knee pads of some sort. These are paintball knee pads. They will save wear and tear in your body, especially when you're running and that steel of your knees is bouncing off your knee joint. A little bit of padding goes a long way. I work out in my armor a lot, and I always wear these. There's a huge difference the way I feel afterwards if I wore padding underneath my leg armor or not. These actually will go down and actually give you a little bit of cushion, because this goes underneath your greaves. So you're going to have a little bit of extra protection if you get hit in the shin. And I wear this. Of course, this is just optional stuff, but this is like for motorcycle riding. It goes on the back. Very flexible type of plastic armor that you can wear underneath. It's made by Roskindol. It's made for street bikes. I ride street bikes, but this is why I wear them out doing that. And I put this on so the hits that you take from behind that you don't see coming takes a little bit of force on it, gives you some extra protection. This, if you watch my other video, I'll link it in the description below, but this is my rugby helmet that I wear underneath my helmet. It helps tighten things up for one, and gives you a little bit of extra padding here to protect your noggin. And let's get to this here, your neck protection. This is actually made by Ice Falcon Armory, or at least they sell it. This is my gorget, or gorget, whatever part of the world that you're from. And I will say this, one thing that's great about this is that the metal here is actually curved. So it's actually, it conforms to your body structure. So as you can see, where it goes over your shoulder, over your traps there, it's curved and it goes with your body. So I wear this on top of my armor. I don't wear it underneath my gambeson anymore after I had a great recommendation, because when you're fighting and you're out there, especially in the summer heat, and your carotids are here, I mean, you dissipate heat from your body to like the natural heat sink of your body. And it's very hard to cool off and be comfortable when you have this on under your armor. So I actually wear this on top. And now for the main event, I'm sure, which everybody's been dying to see. This is my body armor, the front and the back. So we'll start with the back here. As you can see, as I was talking about, we had that back protection, that motorcycle get up that I had. This also has concussion foam that I've placed on most of the pads on the back. Gives me a little bit of extra padding, and I found getting hit from behind is a little more comfortable with that. This buckle here is for my helmet, our Simon strap. If you don't know what Simon strap terminology comes from, look up for how that became a name. That's going to be your harness for your helmet to keep it attached on the back for safety. As you can see, all these rivets are like historic. This Mongolian kit that I have is based on a certain design which had a lot of rivets, and the reason I love what Alexei does is because he made it with large plates. As you can see, despite the multiple rivet patterns where you'd have little tiny plates, I have very large plates in the back. Butt protection. So there you go. And this hangs down past my hips. This is very protective armor here. You have 4 buckles, which connect on the sides. And these are going to connect to the front. We have same thing. This rivet pattern, the smaller rivets, because historically you have small plates. As you can see, I have very large plates inside. It dissipates the force when you get hit. And as you can see here, of course, very protective. So all these large plates spread out the force of being hit. I guess it's like cheating. I don't know. But hey, it's acceptable, and that is how it will look on the front. Let's actually put it on the stand. This is specifically how it goes on. These straps need to go under the pauldrons. By the way, I didn't mention, this is wool. The material is wool. So, this has to go underneath. So you're picking these up. Okay? This will go on top there. This is why it takes 2 people. I can't put this on by myself. This strap here connects into the back. So like I said, if you want to watch, I'll put a video together of how I get dressed in my armor with help. There you go. And these go over top. You could put this on top, but it restricts the mobility. Besides, it's designed to go underneath these pauldrons, but those straps go underneath. And when this is all tied down and strapped in, you take the front and you overlap the back. You don't want it like this. You don't want it buckled with the back hanging in. For one, it's an easy way that a weapon can enter in here and get stabbed, and besides, it's just not how it goes. So there you go. They're going to get strapped in like this. So the front overlaps the back. Helmet time. So like I said, I wear this underneath. It's like an arming cap, a padded arming cap. It's like a modern rugby helmet. It's like 20-some bucks online. This helmet I have here came with 1 strap. This is from Ice Falcon Armory. This is stainless steel. If you can see in here, if you can see my padding, I have this football chin strap. Makes a huge difference. My friend actually riveted in for me. So we got rid of the original strap that was just a strap that went underneath and replaced it with this chin strap. I have the padding, which I had to cut a little bit out back here to make it fit, which is why this rugby helmet's great, because it gives me some padding where I cut out the inner liner. And I have concussion foam underneath. Concussion foam alone is, I would say, is not great protection. You need the foam, you need this padding, and something like this. You want to protect your thinking contraption in your head, so you don't wind up stupid from getting too many concussions when you're in your 50s. Right? There you go. So that is my armor, up close and personal. Like I said, this is a request video. If you have a request for something you'd like me to cover in this channel, please leave a comment below, and we'll see what we can do about that. Also, if there's something in this video that you think I missed or didn't cover, or just want to talk about, leave a comment, and I'd be happy to reply. If you haven't subscribed yet, why haven't you? We'll catch you in the next video, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody take care. Good luck fighting. Stay safe.